on, yeah. Never felt that, come on, yeah. When I never felt that, come on, yeah. You gotta get up.
Okay, here's the second half. This is going to take us up to D-Day and the Normandy invasion. But before we get there, the last time we talked, it was the invasion of North Africa. And from there, we're going to move up to the quote-unquote soft underbelly, Italy. And to get to Italy, we're going to begin by invading Sicily, another amphibious landing from water to land. There's George Patton. We're going to talk about the Battle of Monte Cassino. The Italian theater in general had it had the highest casualty rating because you're attacking people that are fortified. You know, you're trying to go up the mountains. It is the king of the hill, worst case scenario. That is a monastery at Monte Cassino. This is before the attack, and there's after the battle. Shows you the amount of destruction that was taking place at that time. Rome will be liberated. 5 months later, we make it to Rome and we take it from Axis control. This is one of the most important parts of this. Relative location, for those of you that remember geography, we have the ability to bomb targets in Eastern Germany for the first time. The Tehran Conference, that's in Iran. Stalin, Roosevelt, Churchill. Stalin calls for a meeting. The Russians, if you remember, are taking the vast brunt of the German attack and the casualties. He wants the other two countries to agree to attack from France. He promises to launch a counterattack to help take the pressure off them if they'll do it. Post-war, how we're going to divide up Germany. Soviet Union will promise to attack Japan when we're done with the Germans. And finally, we're going to put together some initial conversation about the United Nations after the war, which brings us to the Peace Resistance. Eisenhower, D-Day, Operation Overlord. This is going to be the largest amphibious attack in history. Normandy Beach looks pretty calm today, but you can see the extent of Axis, predominantly German control at this time. Here's the German defenses. You can see we're dealing with the Belgian gates. That's keep landing craft from coming up. You've got 2 lines of posts. You've got 1 line of the log ramps. You've got 2 lines of the hedgehogs, which looks like giant metal jacks. If you take a look there in the front, the strategic points, they give what they call overlapping fire, which means every point on the beach can be shot at from 2 different points, which means if you're hiding from one, you're exposed to the other. Also pictured, there's that machine gun pit where you've got 1 German gunner who could mow down hundreds of invading allies within minutes. In the clip, they'll talk about pre-sighting, where they set up these obstacles. They knew you have to come this direction. You have to use these paths to get to us. We have pre-sighted those, and we're ready to open fire. So here's the D-Day beaches. The focus that we will watch in Saving Private Ryan will be Omaha. Now, I'm actually going to include this horrible history because it's something that I want to talk about, and that is the deception that was used against the Germans.
Woeful Second World War.
Hello, and welcome to World War II Art Show. Today, we're joined by General Peregrine Thorogood from the British Army.
Carry on.
Right, I was going to. This week, we're going to be making models of Allied tanks, the kind that Peregrine here actually used during the Second World War.
In fact, here's one I made earlier.
Gosh.
Ours were just like this, except bigger.
Yes, and not made of cardboard, obviously.
No, ours were made of cardboard.
Sorry?
Yes, cardboard, rubber, bits of wood, all sorts of things.
Why on earth would you make tanks out of cardboard and rubber and things?
I thought you might ask me that. Allow me to introduce my top military advisor, the amazing Jasper Maskelyne!
Jasper Maskelyne, Master of Illusion, at your service.
Mr. Maskelyne was the Army's official magician.
Why on earth did the Army need a magician?
Who better to fool the Germans than a master of illusion? Keep it.
Yes, you see, the Germans were spying on us from their planes. They could see where our guns and tanks were, and from that, work out our next move.
But what if the tanks and guns they saw weren't tanks and guns at all? What if it was just an illusion? Fly, Cornelius, be free.
Oh, right, I see. So you built cardboard tanks to fool the German planes?
Precisely. We even put tanks on top of jeeps and drove them around to make it look like the tanks were moving.
So it was all just...
An illusion. Is this your card?
Well, I didn't actually choose
Take
it.
the card.
Okay.
Yes, these sorts of tactics helped us win the war. On D-Day, when we wanted Hitler to think we were invading France from Dover, we built an entire fake army. We even had fake wooden planes. Like this one.
Oh, right. Well, it doesn't look much like a plane from here.
Not from the ground, maybe, but from the air.
Oh, I see. Very clever.
And the Americans bought an entire inflatable army. You could say I was the first general to blow up his own army.
I don't really get the joke. Well, there we have it. It turns out that cardboard tanks and wooden planes could really be used to help win a war. That's all we have time for this week. So a big thanks to my guests, General Peregrine Thorogood
And me, Jasper Maskelyne, Master of Illusion.
Good heavens! Where has he gone?
Well, he's clearly just down there, isn't he? I mean,
Why would you do that?
well,
Why would you?
it's not magic. I mean, you've clearly just gone down below the
You've
depths.
just ruined it for everyone.
All right, and to take that further, I mean, these are actual inflatable tanks, trucks that were used to confuse or mislead German spies and airplanes. So here we are. You'll take a good look at that one from Saving Private Ryan. Watch that, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss action.
You got